Imagine election day dawns bright and early, but this time the polling stations look very different. Alongside the usual lines of people are flocks of birds on telephone wires, dogs wagging in excitement, cats draped over benches, elephants waiting patiently, and a slow but determined parade of turtles. In this alternate reality, every animal on Earth has the right, and the ability, to vote. How would the world change if millions of species, from ants to whales, suddenly gained a political voice equal to ours? Politicians would scramble overnight. Every platform, every speech would need to speak not only to humans but to billions of non-human voters. Candidates might hold rallies in forests and coral reefs, promising clean oceans to dolphins and wider migration corridors to caribou. The sheer numbers are staggering. There are roughly 8.7 million species of animals and trillions of individual creatures. Humans would instantly become a tiny minority in the global electorate. A single colony of ants could outvote entire nations. To manage the logistics, new systems of communication would emerge. Scientists and linguists would race to develop universal translators, devices capable of understanding the clicks of whales, the dances of bees, the subtle chemical signals of ants, and the ultrasonic chatter of bats. Campaign ads would play not only on TV but through scents, vibrations, and underwater songs. Environmental protection would rocket to the top of every ballot. Forests, oceans, rivers, habitats that keep animals alive, would suddenly hold enormous political power. Logging, industrial fishing, and unchecked pollution would face overwhelming opposition. Laws would prioritize clean air, safe migration paths, and balanced ecosystems. Cities might be redesigned with wildlife corridors and green rooftops. Highways would be rerouted or tunneled to let herds pass. Plastic waste and chemical runoff would become political emergencies, not optional debates. Food systems would transform too. Billions of cows, chickens, pigs, and fish, now voters, would surely reject factory farming. Diets worldwide would shift toward plant-based meals or lab-grown proteins as animals demand freedom from industrial agriculture. Human geopolitics would shrink in importance. The United Nations might evolve into a United Species Assembly, where seats are assigned by population and ecological impact. Whales could lobby for quieter oceans, pollinators for pesticide bans. Predators like wolves and big cats might form powerful coalitions to secure hunting grounds and healthy prey populations. Humans would still contribute technology, medicine, and stewardship skills, but we could no longer pass laws that ignore the rest of the planet. Decisions on climate change, deforestation, and ocean use would belong to the majority, the animals themselves. Yet voting doesn't erase natural conflicts. Predators and prey have opposing interests. A deer's vote to ban wolves clashes with a wolf's vote for plentiful hunting territory. Negotiating those tensions would require sophisticated councils and compromises, perhaps guided by ecologists who understand the delicate balance of ecosystems. Communication would be a constant puzzle. How do you interpret the will of a coral reef or a swarm of jellyfish? Some species might form alliances, birds banding together for migratory rights, or marine mammals joining forces to protect the seas. Others might abstain, indifferent to politics. And not every outcome would align neatly with human expectations. Crows and octopuses, known for their intelligence, might push for technological research we never imagined. Elephants might advocate for global water-sharing treaties. Even tiny plankton, voting en masse, could demand stricter carbon reductions to keep oceans cool. Life for ordinary people would feel radically different. Cities would quiet traffic during migration seasons. Rivers would remain free-flowing for salmon and hippos. Parks and farmland would blend into vast ecological networks where humans are just one participant. Children would grow up learning multi-species etiquette, how to greet a fox neighbor, or listen to the chorus of birds casting their votes at dawn. The concept of pet might vanish. Instead, animals would be neighbors with legal rights and civic responsibilities. Over decades, ecosystems would likely heal. Forests would regrow as logging slowed. Overfished seas would replenish. Climate policies driven by the overwhelming vote of climate-sensitive species, polar bears, tropical fish, insects, could finally force humanity to cut emissions to near zero. Human industry would adapt, focusing on technologies that harmonize with wildlife, renewable energy, sustainable farming, and architecture that coexists with the natural world. Giving animals the vote isn't just a whimsical idea. It highlights the moral reality that our survival already depends on theirs. Pollinators feed our crops, oceans regulate our climate, and countless species maintain the balance of life. A democracy of all creatures would simply acknowledge what has always been true. Earth is a shared home, and every living being has a stake in its future. If animals could vote, humanity would no longer be the planet's unquestioned ruler. We'd become collaborators in a vast living republic, forced to listen, to compromise, and to finally treat every species as an equal partner in survival. So here's a question for you. If the animals around you could cast a ballot today, what issue would they demand we fix first? Share your thoughts in the comments, and the next time you hear birds at dawn or watch a pet sleep peacefully, imagine their voices joining ours at the polls. A reminder that democracy, at its best, belongs to all who call this planet home. Enjoyed this cosmic thought experiment? Tap subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss the next What If journey. Comment below. Which scenario blew your mind most, and what if should we explore next? If today's trip through the universe fascinated you, share this video with a fellow space lover.